Morning.
Ready? Phase three.
Hi, Arne. Did you feel last week that tiredness was maybe a factor against Nottingham Forest, and you've been able to bounce back, obviously, with that win against AC Milan? So how have you been able to manage any tiredness that there's been within the squad this week?
I don't think that was the main issue, if it was even an issue, because 2 or 3 days later we had to play Milan again, and then you would still expect players to be tired, or maybe even more tired. And we came up with a real strong performance. So for me, and I said this a few times before, we have to give credits to what Nottingham Forest did. They made it really hard for us, made it really difficult for us, and that's always the main resistance, the team you face, and not the amount of games you play or other things. It's always about the resistance the other team gives you.
Obviously, we saw Cody Gakpo come in and take his opportunity as well against Milan with his performance. But what does Darwin Núñez have to do to, or what does he have to show you to get his opportunity? The reason I ask as well is because we saw him score 3 goals against Bournemouth last season. He had that big moment against Newcastle where he scored 2 late goals to take all 3 points, but also finished the season with just 1 goal in 13 as well. So what is it that Darwin needs to show you to get his opportunity?
Same like all the others. Work really hard, and then the goals will come. And I think that's also what he did when he came in against AC Milan. It's first of all is you come in for the team, and then as a result of that, attackers score goals or assist. And that's also what happened to Cody, but it happened before with Lucio and with Mo and with Diogo. So if you play in a team like Liverpool, you will always score your goals or get your assists. But it's for me, it's mainly about the work we do without the ball, and that they can score goals and that they can assist. I know, and that's the same with Darwin. So he will get his chance in the near future. We play a lot of games, and I think he's fitter and fitter now. Understands day by day better what we expect from him, but is in competition with Diogo, who in our opinion have done really well in the last games.
Have you had to build Darwin's confidence though as well?
No. I think he came back with a lot of confidence from was the Copa America, I think, yeah.
Yeah, he scored 2 goals there.
Scored some good goals, and no, I don't think Darwin always has confidence because and he has every right to have this confidence because everywhere he played, he always scored goals. And as a striker, sometimes you have a few games that you don't score, and then all of a sudden you score a lot. So as long as he brings his work rate in for the team, and we bring him enough in positions, I'm 100% sure he or Diogo or all one of the others will score his goals.
We saw Bournemouth come to Anfield last season, got an early goal, seemed to want to go toe-to-toe with Liverpool as well. What are you expecting from them this season?
They started off quite well with a win against our neighbours. That caught the eye the most, of course, because they were 2-0 down so late in the game. But I think Ireola has done a tremendous job over there, plays nice football to watch, develops players, has a nice playing style, so all credits for him, but hopefully we can manage to do better against Bournemouth tomorrow than we did against Nottingham Forest last week.
Just check, no new injury worries?
Allison is still a doubt if he can train today, so let's wait if he can train, and if he can't, then he will probably not play as well. So we have to wait and see.
Paul?
Apart from Harvey Elliott, of course, yeah.
I wonder what your memories are of working with Luis Sinisterra and Marcos Senesi.
Only positive memories, of course, except for one moment. We had a great season. We reached the final of the Conference League with these 2 players that were really important for our team then as well. Unfortunately, we lost the final. So that's the only bad memory I have when it comes to that season and to the players that played in that team. Luis Sinisterra is a winger that I like because he dominates 1v1, can score a goal. And Marcos Senesi always has had a lot of impact at Feyenoord and also in the 1 season he worked with me.
What qualities do Bournemouth have to pull off the fight back they did the last trip to Merseyside?
They were aggressive last season. I saw this because I saw parts of the game yesterday. They were really aggressive, high press, made it really difficult for Liverpool to get the ball forward to the forwards as well, and scored a goal by a high press. I think they took the ball off. I think it was Trent, and scored. And that's the style they usually play. So that's also what we expect from them tomorrow. And they have a lot of individual quality as well, because I just said that Andy did a great job over there, but I think the sports director that worked there for so many years did a very good job as well. Maybe because of that, Liverpool tried to took him from him, because he brought in some really good and talented players, where Marcos and Luis are two examples of, but I can tell you more if you want me to. Yeah.
Because you've referred to him, how is the relationship with Richard developing in these early weeks?
Well, it's been good from the start, and like with all the others you work with, it only develops if you work longer with each other, if you get to know each other better. So he gets to know my ideas about football even better. He already knew them really, really, really well. That was also the reason why I wanted to join Liverpool, because he knew more about me than only results. And I get to know him day by day even better, and work relationship is really good, as well as how we get along off the pitch.
Arne, great result, great performance in midweek in Milan. How important was that, not just to get you off to a good start in the Champions League, but to bounce back from the defeat against Nottingham Forest? And also, was that evidence of the players getting to know more of what you want and expect from them?
That evidence, I think they've showed for many games, except for this one game, which you just mentioned, Nottingham Forest. But in whole pre-season and all the games we played in the season till now, I think they showed their quality and how well we can play. For me, it was not only about bouncing back after the loss against Nottingham Forest. It was also the reason, the last 2 years, how we performed in Europe. We had some difficulties in the Champions League 2 years ago. And last season, when Atalanta came, was also a difficult moment. So I think we had a point to prove, and the standards were set really high by so many Liverpool teams, but also by a few that are still playing in this team. And we have to try to get back to those standards in this season. And we made a good step against AC Milan. I think if you can play an away game in San Siro, first game, and then not the result, but the way we played, that shows that we are a very difficult team to beat, but we can also play really good football, dominating football in another stadium than Anfield.
A different sort of opposition, Bournemouth, than Nottingham Forest in terms of their style. You mentioned their high press, that might give Liverpool routes to be more ambitious. Maybe more space than there was last week. But do you think the players have learned the lessons from last week? I know it was a substandard team performance, but there was quite a lot that was wrong from what we'd normally expect from Liverpool.
Yeah, I agree. There were more things that we weren't happy about than in all the other games I just mentioned that we've played till now. Actually, I prefer to play against the low block, because you have the ball a lot and the other team is far away from your goal. So normally, with all the quality we have, if you have the ball so many times, I think we had 70% ball possession in and around their 18-yard box, you would expect us to create a lot with the quality we have. I think we haven't faced that a lot till now, so it was a good moment to reflect and to see what can we do better. But although it sounds simple, but if every player plays 5% better than against Nottingham Forest, which is not that difficult, to be honest, then that will make a massive change already, apart from us, that we can do certain things better and certain positioning or certain runs we have to improve.
Thank you.
Rob?
Arne, how have you been getting used to the English schedule since you've come in compared to what you've been used to? I ask obviously because talk of players striking and workload has been in the news a lot this week.
I don't know if you know, but in Holland we also have an Eredivisie, so we also play games in the weekends, and we also play Champions League or Europa League, so we also play during the week. There's only one difference, and that's the upcoming week, when we play the League Cup. So till now, I haven't seen anything different than what I was used to at my former clubs. But the Premier League has 4 extra games compared to the Eredivisie and the League Cup. That's the main difference. But from the start till now, I think we played just as many games as my former club. So that's not an issue for me. But the main difference between the Premier League and every other league in Europe, and you all know, is that we have to play during Christmas and New Year. And I think at those moments, that's the biggest difference between this league and all the other leagues. AC Milan had to play the weekend, they had to play on Tuesday, and they will play during the weekend also again. So, but and that's probably what you mean, the strength of the league, the quality of the league, the quality of Nottingham Forest, of Bournemouth, that is much higher than if you play an Eredivisie game against a team that doesn't play for the top 6 positions. So this is where it makes a difference.
Are you already planning accordingly, though, even this early in the season, considering what's to come?
Yeah, we think about this, but there goes a lot into making a lineup, not only long-term planning, short-term planning, how fit are they, what does the opponent do, what's the form of our players. But you are aware of the fact that it's going to be a long season where you need a lot of players. So if you need a lot of players, then they also need once in a while some playing time. So we are aware of that, and that's also what we take in account if we make a lineup. But it's not the only thing I take in account.
Carl.
Can I just check what Alisson's issue is and how it happened?
Yeah, you can check. But if I can answer that question, that's he has a slight issue with one of his muscles, and we wonder if this game from tomorrow is coming too early or not. I think he didn't took it from the Milan game. It happened a bit before, but after the Milan game he felt more and more. And now we have to wait and see if he's ready to be in goal tomorrow, or we have to wait a few more extra days.
Can I ask as well, aside from the obvious of saving shots, what role does the goalkeeper play in your team?
Catching crosses, is that which in my opinion is a real important one as well. And playing out from the back is something he needs to do if the other team presses us really high. But he has to make the right choices, because if we are 1v1, which for example against Sevilla that happened a few times, then he has to understand that he has to play the long ball. So he's part of build-up, but his main focus is of course in saving balls and catching the crosses to prevent the other team from scoring, which we as a team and he as individual did quite well, looking at the fact that we only conceded 2 goals in 5 games.
Hi Arne, I wanted to ask you about Cody Gakpo. You mentioned post-match in Milan that he was originally intended to start against Nottingham Forest, but you made a fitness assessment of Diaz. If you had any disappointment or anger about that decision, it looked like he turned it into a determination to really make his mark on the game, which he emphatically did against Milan. Can you use that as the benchmark within your squad? Because with every match day squad, there's going to be players disappointed to be on the bench, disappointed to not even make the bench. Can you use his performance as the benchmark and how to react to everybody else within the squad?
His game might have come from anger, but I think you don't need anger to play in the best possible way. So every time you play, if you play every week or you play once in a while, you have to give it your best. And I think he benefits from 2 things apart from anger. So, and that is his own quality. We know how special of a player he is, and he benefits from players around him and the team, the structure, and the moments when he gets the ball, and that he gets the ball when he is in the right positions. And that made for him a great performance. But the one he's in competition with had some good performances as well. So that's what I mean with it's all about the team. And these players that play for Liverpool all have a lot of quality. So there's not one player that doesn't have quality. So if they can show up, if that comes from anger or not, but just work hard, then the team and individual quality will lead to good performances.
James.
Arne, just actually about the Anfield atmosphere. Like last weekend, frustration, especially in the second half. Is there a need for the fans to stay patient as much as it is for your players when you're trying to break down a team that defends so deep?
My only frustration was about how we played. And I think we as a team and as players have to be aware of the fact that fans need something to get behind the team. And I don't think we did this enough. And the only thing I can ask the fans is if we don't show up enough, maybe they can help us then to say, okay, it's not. It looks like it's not their day of the players today, so let's help them by singing, cheering, whatever they can come up with. But I like to look at ourselves. We have to do better, and if we do better, I think the fans will enjoy what they see, and then they will be behind the team. So it starts with us doing better tomorrow. But maybe if we don't, which I'm not expecting, I'm not hoping for, maybe the fans can give us an extra push by showing what it needs for us to win the game.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Next
Arne.
door.
Go on.